We are The Watch, a community watch fighting racism in gaming, starting with Call of Duty. If you go to the responses about The Watch, everyone is calling it Bully Hunters 2.0. Another example, Season 2 just dropped, boys, Bully Hunters. Time is a flat circle, once again, Bully Hunters. Although The Watch's tweet did collect 1,700 plus likes in comparison to almost 1,600 quote tweets, so you almost have a 50-50 split of people mocking it and supporting it. As if you were to go to the quote tweets, most of them are mocking it. Now, this trailer, it contains Call of Duty footage from what seems to be like various lobbies of people, cussing at each other and using slurs and things like that. And technically, one of these slurs would actually apply to me. And you know what I have to say about it? I literally don't care. Why do I care what some random gamer in some random lobby of Call of Duty has to say? Anyways, you can see what The Watch has to further say right here, and take a look at that while I explain the Bully Hunters thing for anyone out of the loop. Although this was actually like before my time even, so to speak. Like I wasn't actually following this sort of internet stuff back then, but to my recollection, when I heard about it a couple years ago and I went back and like looked it up and researched it, I believe it was specifically for like women that experienced some sort of like misogynistic remarks and like that sort of bullying in game. So the idea literally made no sense to me. Maybe I have it wrong again. Maybe I'm not understanding this. To me, though, it seemed like they were trying to market this idea that they could send a bully hunter into any game lobby, which is obviously not how that works. Like that they're just going to suddenly appear there and then like they're going to take out the person, the griefer, the bully in game. It's so difficult to even explain this because it doesn't make sense. You can't just join a freaking lobby out of nowhere like that. I mean, maybe some games, but most games that I'm aware of, you can't just join a lobby mid-game, like take out the bully, like call up the bully hunter and they're just going to arrive there. And okay, you get the point. Moving on. So anyways, good old Charlie, Moist Critical, made a video about the bully hunter thing a while back, and I want to quote him from the beginning of his video where he says, "Mean people in online video games hurting feelings is a problem. Luckily, we've had the solution for 20 years now. It's called the in-game mute button." The other thing about the bully hunters is that they were attempting to sell like headphones or something, apparently. So it made people think, and in my opinion, the reasonable assumption that the whole thing was really just an attempt to make money, like under the guise of, oh, we're trying to help people. And so it seems a lot of people are getting that same impression about The Watch now, or Bully Hunters 2.0. I do try to be fair when I cover things, though, and to be fair to The Watch, so far, at least from what I've seen as of recording this video, they haven't tried to sell anyone anything, so factor that in if you will. That said, however, I believe it is a reasonable assumption that they very well may attempt to sell something down the road, and let's take a look at some more reasons why. So the first thing I'd like to point out is that they literally tagged Call of Duty itself right here. And they go on to say this: the end game, we want Activision and other game developers to come to the table and work with us to make getting racism out of gaming a top priority. Okay, so I think we can all agree that racism is bad. I still stand by what I said earlier, though. At least in my case, I'm not telling you how you should feel about this stuff, but for me, what some random dude in some random lobby says, why would I put that person on a pedestal so much that I'd be like, oh my gosh, you won't believe what this random person said in a random lobby? Here's the main point. It seems awfully convenient that a brand new Twitter account that was made out of nowhere can suddenly just demand that Activision and other major game developers come to the table and work with them. That sort of thing, plus the previous precedent with bully hunters, although I don't believe they're associated, still I digress. That sort of thing makes it look like this might just be an attempt at monetary gain under the guise of, oh, we're trying to help people and make places safer. They would later also make a tweet talking about how muting in-game isn't actually going to solve the problem, or it's not a real solution in their words. The question is, do they actually sincerely believe that, or is that just a dishonest attempt at countering the very obvious response that people like Weekend Warrior here are making, and like Moist Critical made, at least from the Bully Hunters quote that I provided earlier in the video? Because if they are eventually going to try to sell some sort of service or product or something to counter this issue that they're talking about, obviously, they're going to need to try to make people believe that the mute option isn't really a viable option, as that would be a very big detriment to their own business model. For example, Weekend Warrior here, where he said, pretty sure you can mute people, got a response from this Moose person saying they already accounted for this and linking to the tweet that I showed you a moment ago about the mute button not being good enough. Awfully convenient, although maybe they're sincere. And then they also made this tweet essentially talking about what they already talked about and then adding Call of Duty once again. I guess they didn't get a response or something the first time, not sure. And I'll leave it there. Make of this what you will. Maybe they're actually going to end up being some like awesome organization that actually does a lot of good. I'm skeptical. I'm skeptical of companies. I'm skeptical of Twitter accounts like this suddenly popping up and adding major companies that they want to work with. So yeah, I'm skeptical for a number of reasons as I outlined in this video and some that I haven't. Let me know what you think in the comments. Thank you for tuning in. I'll see you there and in the next segment on the way.